Nice. Hello and welcome to Nolo Time, episode 58. My name is Obed Velez, and with me is the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
That's right. It's Joel Young in the house. What's up, Nolo Time? We are so glad to be here with you for another great episode. And man, we're gonna have like a long section. Stick with us, because we're gonna have a long session of gaming news today. So it's gonna be really full of a lot of information.
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. Not necessarily have a what's up, Joel. I didn't do anything special over the weekend. Things are still, kind of crazy and busy. So, I'll find some time and do some more new and exciting stuff. But I don't know if you have anything new to. Same thing.
I did some cool stuff, but not necessarily stuff that like the podcast people might be interested in. I mean, I'm literally halfway through. A bit too much. A little bit. I would say I'm halfway through the finale of Cloak and Daggers. So once I get that done next week, I'll probably have a nice what's up with some other stuff going down, so I can give you guys some knowledge drop on how I feel about the finale of Cloak and Dagger.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, I mean, the only thing that I've done of interest is actually, for the first time ever, I'm actually keeping up with Attack on Titan. So Attack on Titan season 3 started 2 weeks ago. So there's 3 episodes out. So I'm keeping up with it. It's like I'm watching it. I'm watching it the next day. It's out on Crunchyroll. I'm watching it. So far, it's very, very different from the other 2. Season 1 was spectacular. Like, I would recommend everyone watch it because it is so good. And it's the non-anime, because it's more of a horror, like an action drama / horror thing, and it's with sci-fi and all. It's so good. So season 1, I highly recommend everyone watch it. Season 2 was good. But there's a lot of questions at the end. I was like, where is this going? And then season 3 is totally different. Like, they're doing something very different. But you can tell, Joe, that the budget was increased because animation quality definitely looks a lot better. Not that it was bad, because it wasn't, but you can tell that they're actually putting in more money, which is always great. So pretty cool. Other than that, man, really don't have anything.
Next week, wow, what's up, guys? I promise you.
Yeah, but we do have some news, and we're gonna jump right in. Joel, we got some news out of DC that they are actually is this proposed or is this greenlit, the Supergirl movie?
Okay, so according to the reports coming out, this movie is greenlit. This movie already has a writer for the script that's it's already being worked upon. So they haven't announced the director. It hasn't been formally announced to the public part of the DC slate, but from the report outlets, it's obviously, I believe it to be true. And it doesn't surprise me in the vein that as of recently, we had a lot of news about the Birds of Prey movie being in the works, with Black Mask being the main villain for that movie. People seeing DC take advantage of the fact that Marvel has not had a solo female superhero film. And so they hit the iron hot by having Wonder Woman come out first. And in relation to the positive reaction to Wonder Woman, I believe they're thinking, well, we may not be able to compete with Marvel on the quality of their films and the quality of their universe, but what we can compete with is people who are appreciating us taking an angle that Marvel hasn't yet, I should say, because as we know, March next year we have Captain Marvel kicking off the Marvel Cinematic Universe for this next phase.
And I believe that we didn't talk about it, Joe, but I'm sorry to interrupt, but the Black Widow movie was announced that it is happening, and we didn't talk about it on the podcast. I think we were in this, Comic-Con craziness and all that, and we were busy. Yeah. We didn't touch on it, but it is happening.
It is happening. So Marvel is getting into the game, but I think, I personally believe that DC is scrambling to say maybe we can give, because they do have powerful female superheroes. Marvel does too, but I think DC has a little bit of an awareness of it, and I think they're trying to hit the iron hot. Now, mind you, Obed, Wonder Woman and Birds of Prey are two very different things. Wonder Woman and Supergirl is a very different thing. This is post Zack Snyder. Remember, as much as people are like, what do you mean Zack Snyder? He didn't direct Wonder Woman. He wrote the story for Wonder Woman. And not only he wrote the story, so the story is from him, but the other part of it that people also have to understand is Zack Snyder is essential for the craftsmanship of the leads for these franchises. So he's the one himself and his wife, I should say, Deborah Snyder, they actually casted Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. So when Supergirl gets cast, it's not going to be a Zack Snyder, Deborah Snyder cast. It's going to be whoever that director or whoever is in charge in the DC films or the worlds of DC. Whoever that is going to choose this, right? So that's going to be interesting how this all takes shape. It just shows me also the lack of direction that they have for them to be greenlighting a Supergirl movie, but yet we still don't have the Man of Steel sequel that people asked for. The movie that actually kickstarted this DC cinematic universe. It's very bizarre to me. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a weird announcement. But Obed, what's your thoughts on Supergirl joining the DC film slate?
Well, we did see Supergirl already back in the 80s. They attempted to bring Supergirl to the big screen, failed miserably. That movie is not good at all. That's being said in like, all right, Superman 1 and 2 happened. They were good movies. I don't necessarily think they were great, but they are good and they are, well thought of. Versus Superman 3 and 4, which I believe the Supergirl movie came in between 3 and 4. I may be wrong, but it was right around the same time. And it was not good. We've seen it before. The TV series, on the other hand, has been pretty successful. Unfortunately, CBS dropped it, but CW was swooped in because that show was a very CW-esque show.
Absolutely.
For CBS, and I think CBS maybe thought that it wasn't a good fit, which I think they were right, and moved it, or CW took it, and it's been doing pretty good. I mean, it's season 4 already on it.
Yeah, it's been going for a while.
Yeah, and it's doing okay. And I watched a couple episodes here and there, and it's okay. I mean, it's not offensive, it's fine, but it's comparable to Smallville, right? We think of Smallville as this, a masterpiece of television, and it's not. It was not good, especially like after season 6, like seasons like 7, 8, and 9 were not good. Season 10, they needed to make it good because it was the last season, but Smallville, it was not great.
And the news coming out about that recently is not great either.
Oh my goodness! We haven't. I don't know if you saw the video with this guy that played Lex Luthor. I forgot his name. Michael something. I forgot his name. So yeah, if you guys, Google's a thing. If you want to Google like Smallville actors thing on news, just look it up. Well, we're not gonna talk about it. PG. So. Maybe they can again, and this is like I always give a DC the benefit of the doubt. If they have the right writers and they have the right creative people behind it, it may be a good project. We saw I think we both were pleasantly surprised with how good Shazam looks. So if they bring the right creative people, the right writers, and of course the right director, I think this would be a great opportunity for DC to bring another female director and carry this project, and that'll do really well for them. It's good PR. So
right.
if they can get the right people in, it may turn out to be a good project. Are they going to maybe put this together with the continuity? I'm not going to call it the DCEU anymore, but the continuity that's already in place, we don't know. Maybe they can do that, and maybe they can do a Power Girl movie like in a few years. So,
I'm positive about this too. I think the same way like you're responding, like it could be good. We don't know much yet, I actually would recommend to DC, DC, if you're listening to this podcast, I would recommend that they actually let Patty Jenkins, not that she's making this movie, but let her kind of godfather it,
Yeah,
and for because of how well the success of Wonder Woman and the way she really created a great origin and great mythology around the world that they inhabit for DC, right? I think it'd be an awesome thing if she could do the same for Supergirl, and maybe, you know, kind of bring up the speed whoever the next director is, or maybe even let her choose who that director is going to be.
yeah.
You know, would be a
What,
great option.
yeah, kind of like what Nolan did with the Man of Steel,
Exactly.
where he helped out, you know, sort of like, I've been in this universe, I think this is the direction that you should take, you know, sort of thing. So yeah, yeah, absolutely, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. Joe, the Oscars. I know that we watch it, right? You watch the Oscars,
I
right?
watched the Oscars.
I watch the Oscars.
Yeah,
It's an annual thing. I watch it with my wife whenever it's on.
movies that I haven't heard of, I just watch it anyways.
And
It's
that's
always interesting.
yeah, and that is exactly the problem, right? That the Academy is looking to address. So we got some news today, Joel, that there are going to be some changes and some new categories. But to me, I'm not too familiar with everything that's involved, Joel. But to me, the big one is the best popular movie category that they've added to the Academy Awards. And I think that they should have done this 8 years ago, but it's never too late, right?
I have really strong feelings about this.
Come on.
You know, it's funny that they say so that the title for this new category is Outstanding Achievement in Popular Films.
Okay.
That's the way it's worded, and I don't know the criteria yet. And everyone I've been researching online, everyone's saying we don't know what the criteria is yet. There's just the informal announcement being said. It is the title of what this new category is going to be. Just making assumptions of what it is, it's kind of a slap in the face to some of the movies that I consider that would fall into this category. Why do I say this? Because it's almost like you're saying you're not good enough to be, you know, nominated in these other categories. So we got to put you in this category of like, you're the people like you. Like, we'll give you an award for being popular. The popularity contest is not what these things should be about. It should be about the what these things accomplish for cinema, for the future of cinema as a whole, right? For example, we talk about Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight series, right?
Yep.
What that did for cinema, it wasn't even about superheroes as a whole. You can watch those movies and have never known a lick about Batman. But if you understand the Joker, what they do with him, and this, you know, when you watch The Dark Knight, it created this villainous, this wickedness, this character that we all were enthralled just to watch, and it did something to cinema where now actors to this day, after Heath Ledger's passing, to this day still reference his performance to say, I want to give a performance like this. There's something, and Nolan did something special to take this whole franchise in that direction. I think like it's almost like if that movie was to come out where this new category exists today, it's almost like you'd be saying like it's a popular movie. It's a great job on this popular movie. I don't appreciate it. Now, am I saying it's a horrible thing? No, because it's still giving a recognition where they would never include these kinds of movies in any of the conversation. So at least it's gonna have a platform, right? But the platform that it's going to be on, all assumptions, I don't know the context of it yet, but based on the assumptions, I'm not too excited about. That's my opinion.
Okay. So, Joe, before you were born, back in my day. So, when Beauty and the Beast came out in 1991, the Academy, the Beauty and the Beast, the original Beauty and the Beast, got nominated for Best Picture. A lot of people, a lot of purists took issue with that, right? And said it's like, why is an animated movie nominated for Best Picture? I was like, well, it's a freaking great movie. That's it, you know. That's all to it. but that caused the Academy to create Best Animated Movie category where they put all the animated movies in, and they get picked. Um, I think again, you're right, and I agree with you that these movies that would have never been nominated will now get a platform in and get exposure. I mean, not that they need it, right? Because
They're popular.
they're like, you get a movie like like what one of the what's the one
Mission
that
Impossible just came
right.
out.
Yeah, Mission Impossible just came out, right? Everyone knows about Mission Impossible, but then what was the movie that won last year? Was it Moonlight or
Moonlight I think was the year
the year
before.
before? I don't see. I don't
Yeah.
even remember which movie won this year.
Ouch.
And that's a problem. So so I
I'm sorry, this is great.
so I can tell you that Coco won Best Animated Picture.
Wow.
Because I freaking care about it, right?
Wow. Yeah,
See?
yeah. Most people do.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah. So and that you see that there it is. That's the difference. Um, I think that this is going to give movies that are really good. Like, dude, I've been saying it. Like freaking Winter Soldier. It is such a great movie, and I wish that movie got the recognition it deserved because it is genuinely a great movie. And again, we see movies like Black Panther again being a really good movie, and also having mass exposure and acceptance. That I think the Academy needed to do this because for the last few years, it's definitely fell flat, and we're looking forward to the animated pick, and we're looking forward to the music pick. But when it comes to best movie, I mean, the last time that I saw a movie win best picture that I actually cared about was probably Return of the King.
Oh
Lord of the Rings:
yeah.
Return of the King back in, I believe, 2005 when they won.
Yep.
So that was probably the last time I cared about a movie that won Best Picture. So
By the way, it was Shape of Water that won last year.
Shape of Water. Thank you. I should know because
Our
I
boy
like
Guillermo.
yeah, I like Guillermo a lot. But it's one of those things, right? It's again, I haven't seen the movie. It's so and it's not that I care about it. It's because it's I would rather entertain myself with other things than maybe watch that movie. Maybe if it's on Netflix, I'll watch it. But I mean, I'm not gonna run out and buy it. It's one of those movies that are one-off movies that you just watch once and stash it. So I'm not gonna go run out and buy it. Like versus next Tuesday, Joel, when that thing drops.
I already got my pre-order.
You got a pre-order. Yeah.
It's not a game, guys.
It's dude, and it's funny because for the last 2 weeks, my wife's been asking me, it's like, "Hey, is Avengers out on Blu-ray?"
Wow.
It's like, no, it's out on digital, but you can't rent it. You have to buy it, and I'm not gonna pay $25 for digital.
But your wife is asking for it.
Yeah, dude. So I mean, next Tuesday, I'm gonna go grab it, and I'll grab Solo, and I grab the movies that I care about that I'll probably watch a few times. But when it comes to this sort of like the broody dramas and the real life dramas that most of the time get picked as best picture, I really don't care. I really don't care. I liked La La Land. I watched La La Land and I really enjoyed it. I mean, but I have zero interest in watching Moonlight. But if they say Black Panther is nominated for Best Popular Picture, that's gonna get me hyped. I mean, if they say Deadpool 2 is gonna be nominated for Best Picture, I'm gonna be hyped. I mean, but
that's what I'm trying to say. It's almost like you're saying like you're not. And here's my thing. I'll say this last thing. I'll say that it's not that every superhero movie or even like every year a superhero movie should be nominated for Best Picture. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, there are certain ones that have come out within the last decade that get no more recognition than maybe their makeup and the sound, or maybe even the special effects.
Yep.
That's literally the most maybe. Sometimes they get skipped altogether. The last time that I got excited about something actually getting some kind of recognition was last time with Logan. I was so happy for Logan getting recognized because that movie is so good.
Well, it's real good.
That's another one of those ones I was like, how can this be nominated just for this thing? But I was happy for nonetheless to get some kind of recognition out there outside of the special effects.
Yeah, and the first Deadpool was nominated for a Golden Globe as best picture as well.
So it's progress.
Or like comedy, or like best comedy picture, or comedic, yeah, drama / comedy or something like that. Whatever. The Golden Globes categories are weird, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Logan was another one that got us excited about that. But then again, going back to it, like you mentioned, we go to The Dark Knight, Winter Soldier, all these movies that are legitimately great films, and they do not get the recognition. So we may be able to, see them get recognized now, and definitely deserving directors and crew and cast that are involved with these pictures. So maybe that'll give them some recognition. And that being said, going back to my point, that could potentially bring more viewers to the show, which we know that it's been going down. The younger generations are not really interested in the frou prices for movies that they don't care about. They're just like, oh, give me freaking Thanos and Tom Cruise jumping an airplane or whatever the heck he's doing. So that's all they care about. And I consider myself I'm like a proto millennial, right? I'm the youngest Gen Xer, the youngest Gen Xer, time, but I get myself in, the digital technology, and the way I see things. I see things more as millennials do, and I get a lot, dude. I get along with you, and you're like, I could be like your uncle or something.
He ousts himself, guys. He ousts himself. I never did it.
So, like seriously, I do not care about this frou stuff. It's like I never cared about these dramas. I never care about these things that win, like, best pictures, like best drama, and like sick people in beds. Like, dude, like I love Tom Hanks. I don't care. I don't care about Philadelphia. I know it's a great movie. I appreciate it for what it is. I just don't care about it. We can go back to a movie that I've watched, and again, it's one of those one-off movies that, yes, this movie is absolutely a masterpiece, but you ask me if I want to go ahead and watch it, I'm probably gonna go say no. And it's Schindler's List by Spielberg. It's a masterpiece of a movie. I watched it. I appreciate it for what it is, but I'm not in the Schindler's List fan club,
I'm the same way. I joke about this with so many people. I'm like, these movies are fantastic. Pursuit of Happiness, 12 Years a Slave. These fantastic movie. I saw the ones. I never want to see them again in my life. I am so happy with them. Fantastic movie. I won't see it again. And that's just because of the emotions that you get watching this stuff. I'm like, I want to go home and sit on my couch and have a laughing or whatever kind of time. I don't want to go home and cry, It's and that's what's the sense of it, right? That this is a very different kind of cinema. So they each of their own, but yeah, I'm with you there, buddy, on the Schindler's List and these guys. I was like, great movie.
Absolutely.
Never gonna see it again.
No, yeah, and I appreciate them for what they are, and they are fantastic. But I'm not gonna buy the Schindler's List hat or poster or. Seriously, I'm not making this I'm not trying to make a joke of the movie, because it's not. It's a very serious movie. It's a very serious movie, and it's fantastic, and its depiction, it's grit. Like, dude, I was like, this movie that oh my goodness. I'm gonna go a little PG-13 here, but a movie that that everyone was plooshing for. It was freaking a Wonderful Life by that Italian actor. I forgot his name, that won Best Picture at the Oscars, and he was really excited and jumping. And I was like, Antonio Benigni, I think that's the name of the actor. I can't remember, but everyone went nuts for that movie. It's like, all right, I need to watch this thing because everyone's going crazy for it, dude. I rented it. And I remember this vividly because I was dating my wife back then when we rented it on VHS, and I watched it in one of our, I went to her place one night and we watched it, and I was like, what the hell is this movie? I was like, this is the saddest, dumbest thing I mean, I know what's behind the movie, and I know I appreciate, movie makers trying to tell me a World War II story, and I know how horrific of a time it was, but damn it, dude, if you're gonna make me feel dead inside on my 25-minute drive back home, like I don't want to feel that, right?
It's not the movie that you go and put on and be like, all right, friends, we're gonna have a movie night this Friday night. Let's all put on It's a Wonderful Life, and we all leave crying and just
dude,
sad. It's not that kind of movie. Is the point
exactly? It's like the same thing with video games, right? You play video games to escape the daily, crap that you have to deal with. It's like, why would I play, a realistic military shooter or something like that, and that's the reason why Fortnite is so popular, because it's a cartoony shooter with like completely unrealistic like building gimmick or whatever. And that's why I love, my God of War and Nier and Final Fantasy and all this other Dragon Ball, all this stuff, because I don't have to deal with the crap of everyday life. And that's the same way I feel about movies, Joel. And we're going long on this one, but
it's a fun topic.
It's a good topic, man. And I think it's just, the value of cinema, the reason for cinema is for us to be entertained. Of course, as an artistic expression, it was taken into, some other places. And we're actually seeing that with games today as well. But at the same time, we still get, our bonkers, action games that are, completely unrealistic and all that stuff. I appreciate that you're trying to give me a message, and I appreciate the work that you put behind it. I just don't care.
Sorry. Yeah, I want to make it clear. Like, I'm not like trying to take a dump on these movies. Like each person can like what they like with these movies. That's the greatest thing about art. Like, it's subjective. We can all have our opinions, and same thing with video games. If you like this video game, but I don't like it, doesn't make my opinion better than yours. So I'm happy. People, if you love the Schindler's List, get the hat, get the poster, get the mug. But as for Obed-9, we will be
get the Liam Neeson autographed DVD copy or whatever.
You do it. You do that. That's all I'm saying. It's just different differences in enjoyment. But I think that's the other part. Gosh, we're going on this one, but the other part of it is like, if we like something, or let's just say it was flipped, right? Where the Academy, these people voting, were people like us, and the only movies that we put out there were superhero movies. But then there was this really awesome movie about this woman and her mop, that like was done really well. And I am referencing an actual movie. Some of you may even know what I'm talking about, but that's another thing. But anyways, like, if it was one of the mop, people were saying, well, why isn't this movies like this being nominated? It would feel flipped, right? So my point being is, like, instead of picking, these movies and these movies are, these are the only kind of movies that should be, the only movies that shouldn't be. It's not about that. We're saying inclusion, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. We need to. Especially the Academy, they need to be more inclusive on their picks, considering that they need to bring more people in and have more people engaged with what they're trying to do. So that's
great topic.
Yeah, absolutely. We can go on this one for a while, but we gotta move on, Joel. We only got about 20 minutes left here. Come on, it's like,
go for it, man. Give us the gaming news.
All right, so No, just a real quick was I know that we talked about it briefly last time about Sony's earnings. I think that they're doing good, Joel. Again, the big thing here is that company solid is on solid ground. Castro left the company with good standing, with cash, and I think that I'm hoping that his successor is going to do well too. Big thing here, Joel, is that again their cell phones are not doing great, which is a shame because they're great products. It's just that here in the U.S. They really don't have a carrier that they can rely on and put these phones on. But I know that they do well in Japan. They do have product placement actually on the Persona 5 anime. The phones are Sony phones. They're the new model phones, so they do have product placements. I know that those phones do well in Asia overall and Europe, but unfortunately in North America they just don't have a carrier that would carry their phones. I know that AT&T did carried them for a while, but they stopped. Hoping to see them actually get with a carrier and put these devices out because they're good. But other than that, Joel, company's healthy. PlayStation is definitely ranking in the money for them.
It's great to see places like Bloomberg and these other reputable companies recognizing the exact correlation financially of the sales of PlayStation, the games that they're putting out as exclusives that were listed in this article from Bloomberg. We're talking about Detroit Become Human and some of these other ones that came out, how it directly correlates to the success of Sony, showing that what they're doing there is really affecting them across the board as a business. So that's awesome when you get that kind of recognition.
Yep. And again, I'm hoping to see the company progress and get back on track. Looks like they're doing it. So definitely good for them. Joe, but then over the weekend, EVO happened. A bunch of craziness, right? It's one of those things that takes over the weekend. I did watch a bunch of it. I did not see the Street Fighter V finals because it was like 2 in the morning when they actually got to it. Oh crap! What the heck was that? This is like a raccoon.
That sounds like an animal. I've got thunder going on in here, guys.
Yeah, it's like it's a wreck. I got raccoons and possums and all this crap. I'll probably edit that out, but not on YouTube, so you'll have to deal with that. We're like,
that's right.
So, Joe, we did see. Again, attendance was good. Viewership was great. I believe that Dragon Ball topped around 290 viewers on Twitch for the finals. Yeah, and Street Fighter was around 260. So it did drop. And again, Street Fighter was probably because it was too damn late. It was just too much. I mean, who's gonna stay up, in the 2 in the morning to watch it? So I did watch like the following morning. I actually catched up and watched the Street Fighter V finals, which was very interesting. But we did get some announcements and reveals. Of course, we got the final 2 characters for Street Fighter V, G and Sagat. They are already out because they announced that Sunday night, and they said available tomorrow. And they're out. There's already people doing some crazy stuff with them online. I've watched a couple of videos today. And definitely well received. Both of them. G was well received. He was, he's a new character, mysterious character, so well received. And then Sagat, again, being a classic character, was absolutely well received. He looks awesome. Like his proportions look really cool, and it looks like they did change some of his normal moves. Still has the same special moves, but they definitely made him a little bit beefier and he looks great. I'm really excited. I think next weekend, I think I'm going to. I may not have a lot of time, but I think I'm gonna try and jump in and take a look and try them out. There's probably a bunch of people online. There's new people coming in, so this is a good time to get into fighting games because right after EVO, there's a bunch of new people online,
That's awesome.
and you can just play against new people. And if
you
trying,
can beat them.
and exactly, like if you're trying to rank up, that would be a great opportunity for you to start ranking up. But yeah, Street Fighter is still doing great. The pay was good. I think the winner for the Street Fighter event, Problem X, walked out with around 45 grand. So it was good payout for that. Not too great for the other ones. I think Dragon Ball was around 17, 18,000, and Smash was around 10. So those were not great, but of course, with Street Fighter, you get Capcom money. But ArcSys basically took over, man, because they are definitely taking over the fighting game scene. And they announced that they're going to have a separate event next year for their games. And they also announced that they are working on a new Guilty Gear for coming out next year. So they didn't say if this was going to be an expansion to XR or if this is going to be a brand new game. My prediction is that this is going to be a new game that they may be carrying over into next gen. For Street Fighter, going back real quick, I think this will be the last two characters that we see, Joel. Rumor is that Capcom's already working on a next gen Street Fighter. Of course, those consoles are a couple years away, but Capcom's already doing some work on that. And so the ArcSys event's called Arc Revo World Tour, and they're gonna have tours around basically around the world. I think they're coming to Orlando, Joel. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost certain that because of CEO, this will be one of the stops. And yeah, I mean they're gonna have over 100 grand in prices and bringing in new stuff. They just teased today a new universe for Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. So this company's taking over, man. The job that Capcom used to do back in the 90s and early 2000s, ArcSys is doing it now. So coins flipped. Like ArcSys was the company back then that only had Guilty Gear back in the late 90s, and Capcom had Street Fighter, Darkstalkers, Marvel's Capcom, all this other games. So now it's flipped. Like now ArcSys has a bunch of stuff, and Capcom just has Street Fighter. So times change.
Amazing.
But there was some drama, Joe. Two things that I just want to talk about on the Smash finals. Leffen and forgive me, I forgot the other player. They started trolling the crowd because I guess everyone hates Bayonetta on Smash. And they started trolling the crowd by not playing, so they just sat there for a couple of minutes, and people started booing. And it was not good. And man, the Smash community is toxic, bro. Joel,
sorry guys, if you're a fan of this.
Yeah, you love Smash, Joel, but
I love Smash.
But man, seriously, you guys need to grow up.
Hey, don't group me in a trolling community.
Yeah,
I did just go on a rant about Oscar movies.
Yeah, exactly. You Gamergate people, we're all in the same boat, right? It doesn't matter. Yeah. So they troll the audience, and then one thing that was kind of controversial was the Dragon Ball FighterZ finals between Goichi and Sonic Fox. Goichi actually reset the bracket, and coming from loser's bracket, which Sonic Fox actually beat him first, sent him to the loser's bracket. Goichi came back and did grand finals, had to reset the bracket. He reset the bracket, but then Sonic Fox asked for a seat swap, and they went on coin toss and on a coin toss. I'm sorry, and whatnot, and they ended up swapping seats. That created a spot of about, I want to say, 5-6 minutes where they didn't play, and then they switched spots, and then Sonic Fox uh, basically swept Goichi on the rest of the match. So Sonic Fox went on to win Grand Finals of Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and a lot of people was like, "Oh, he cheated because he swapped, seat swapping and whatnot." I mean, it's in the rules, and it just Goichi is they're the two top players in the world, like no question, right? So for them to beat each other, it definitely takes a lot of skill. So it's just
awesome.
not luck. But something that could be seen as a little bit controversial, but it's no secret that Sonic Fox is a furry, right? So when he won the event, he tweeted something that a lot of people were not happy because he won. So he trolled haters back saying, "I'm gay. Also, the best DBFC player in this effing planet. Don't forget it." So
taking a lot of pride in his winning and getting attention on his Twitter.
Yeah.
You can do that in esports, but
yeah, you can do that in esports. You can get that sort of bragging rights. But of course, Sonic Fox is he's part of the LGBT community, and he's well liked in the fighting game community as a whole. So he is very interesting to see play, Joel. I mentioned it that I watched him last year when I went to the CEO event, play Marvel, and he's really good. He's a young kid, and has the skill to back up his his mouth. So definitely, one of the heels out there, but also a hero to some. So good for him. And then the guy that beat Tokido for the Street Fighter event, also Player X, Problem X. I'm sorry. He this was the first time that I seen him on anything, so that was pretty surprising to me. But then Leffen went and watched one Smash for no super big secret on that one. Leffen's one of the best players in the world, also very outspoken. And he's also a great Dragon Ball Fighter Z player. Do you remember that video that I showed you?
Yes, I do.
Him versus Goichi, where Goichi just blocked for a minute and a half. That was an awesome match. So
that was fantastic.
So he's a great player, but he missed Dragon Ball because it was scheduling conflicts between Dragon Ball and Smash. He picked Smash because that's his forte, and he ended up winning the entire thing. So good for him. But just going back to some of the announcements, Joel. So we got a little bit from Capcom. We got a very de-inflated announcement from Tekken about Negan from The Walking Dead being in Tekken 7. This was not super well received because not a lot of people care about Walking Dead anymore. And they should have gone with another guest character from another game. That's my opinion. But if AMC is willing to put the money and make a character for Tekken, and put it on the game, that's up for them, right? But yeah, that's gonna be a thing. There's no gameplay or footage of Negan yet. They also announced two more characters, Anna Williams and Lei Wulong, that are coming to Tekken 7 Season 2. No other crazy other crazy announcements. The one that was really funny was a female version of Terry Bogard being on the Cutie Fighter from SNK. That's coming out later this year. But Joel, let's talk about freaking Smash Bros. Man, and that direct that came out this morning. All right,
Nintendo Direct this morning. Wow.
Yeah. So Joel, I'm gonna start from the bottom. Joel, if you have a Switch, would you buy that bundle?
Yeah, I would actually consider buying that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes with the adapter and the GameCube controller and the game.
because because I think mostly because of the controller. Being honest.
Yeah, looks pretty cool though. I mean, it's a good color, good package, looks fine. Yeah, so that's pretty neat. So they did announce that bundle that's coming out. But the the big ones are the reveals, Joel. So they reveal some more gameplay changes, right? And we're not gonna go into detail on those. But Konami, it's back on the news because apparently Castlevania's not dead because they're bringing Simon Belmont and Richter Belmont to Smash Bros.
And the castle they're also bringing as a location.
Yep, Castle has the location. I think Dracula's going to be a boss. I think the Green Reaper is going to be a boss based on what we saw. So,
Yep.
Man,
That was a funny little Luigi video in the beginning.
Yeah, that video was really charming with Luigi, kind of like a Luigi's Mansion type of thing, and he was actually actually the castle, and then he gets killed by the Green Reaper.
Yes, and that's when Simon comes out, flips his thing off.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. Yeah, so no, not a lot of details on that, but that they did show some pretty good gameplay on both, and they look they look pretty nice, man, and they look good. But and then the other literally big one is King K. Rool from Donkey Kong Country is going to be coming into Smash. Joe, what do you think of that one, man?
Oh, fantastic, man! I just like it's the amount of characters that they just keep throwing into this. I'm like, I'm gonna spend so much time on this thing. I already like it. I already know like this is the selling point. I told you, Obed, like when I see the Switch get Smash Brothers, and we knew this was coming from announcements, and it's been a while now, right? But the day this thing is out, I'm gonna put so much time to this. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah, and then 105 stages, over like 800 music tracks. It's ridiculous.
It's gonna be a lot.
Yeah, and
the Pokemon stage, nice.
Yeah, so they're adding, like, they're remastering all those stages too. So they're not just porting those from GameCube and Wii. They're actually remastering everything.
Yep.
It looks really nice. And then that stage morphing they showed was awesome, dude.
Fantastic.
That was great. Yeah, this game's gonna do really, really well. I'm curious to see how that's gonna be during EVO next year, because this game's probably gonna be on EVO next year. Comes out in December. It comes out early. So
sweaty competitors, get ready.
I know. Yeah, man, I wish the Smash community was a little more forgiving. But seriously,
keep throwing shade at this community, man.
I mean, Smash it's a good game, right? And it's a fun game. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be this thing.
It is fun
that you play with your family and your friends and whatnot, and people just take things too seriously, in my opinion. So just
of course. It's the game that's divided friendships, man.
I know.
I've heard the stories.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. I know that this is gonna do really well, but we'll see how it does on the competitive scene. I know that it's probably gonna be well received, and then we're gonna see a lot of players again carrying their GameCube controllers around, and it being a thing. So, yep.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, man. I'm sorry. I got a lot of good stuff to look forward to between Spider-Man coming and, of course, Assassin's Creed's coming. And
man, I forgot about Assassin's Creed.
I know you did, but I didn't.
Yeah, no.
not Joel.
No, not Joel. Joel, don't forget about it.
I won't.
Yeah. Yeah. When's that coming out?
I believe November.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe in November.
All right. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting few months here until the holiday season.
Yeah.
Lot of releases, a lot of good stuff out there. And the next year, January's packed, February's packed. Like next
October
year,
5th. I just fact checked.
October 5th. Okay. It's like a month after Spider-Man, not even a couple of weeks after, right?
Yeah. Yep. Right away.
Do your wallet. It's gonna
I
happen.
know. In my time.
And yeah. And your time. It's like me in January next year. It's gonna be Kingdom Hearts and Resident Evil 2 on the same week. So it's gonna be messed up.
I'm sorry, guys.
There we go. I'm back. I'm alive.
He's back.
Yeah. Yeah, we're having a little bit of a thunderstorm earlier, so it's probably shaking up our internets over here. Yeah.
Internets.
Yeah. So Joe, that's what I got. If you don't have anything else, man, let's wrap this thing up.
That's what I got for you guys. Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen and spend it with us here on No Load Time. We're always happy to have you, and we want you to stay connected. You can always use a friend, right? So stay connected to No Load Time by following us on social media at No Load Time. It's at No Load Time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, we want to make sure you're subscribed so you always get the latest episodes as they come out. So go ahead and subscribe to the show via podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud. For our video versions, you can subscribe on YouTube. And then we also want to ask you guys, if you're a subscriber on iTunes, to drop us a review. That helps us out as we get the word out about all the stuff we're doing here on No Load Time. Additionally to all of that, we want you to know that you can always communicate with us. So we look forward to hearing feedback from you. You can shoot an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Maybe you've got a strong opinion about what we talked about today, between maybe something going on with esports, our feelings about the Oscars, whatever. Go ahead and send us your feedback, or maybe a question or topic you want us to talk about in a future episode. We may take time out to discuss it. But guys, it's always great to be with you, and we look forward to joining you on the next episode of No Load Time.
Thank you, guys, and we'll see you again on the next episode.